Hello everybody and welcome to our first new version of Ask the Critics. I'm Rob.
I'm Dave.
Brendan.
And we got quite a bit of a response from our promo video about questions from a lot of people, so let's get started. Oh, but first of all, Brendan, welcome back to R&B Reviews. It's been quite some time.
Thanks for having me. I'll be around all summer.
Cool.
Nice.
Sweet. We finally got him in, Dave.
Yes.
We got him in. Yeah.
It's been a long time. But...
Yeah. Okay, our first question comes from Buckeye Sparky. What's the most amount of movies that you have watched back to back? Well, personally, mine is 3. One time I watched 3 famous versions of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde back to back. I watched the 1920 silent version, the 1932 Frederick March version, and Spencer Tracy's remake from 1941. I can't sit through movies back to back. I need to take a break in between, otherwise I go nuts. So that's probably the only time I've actually saw movies back to back to back. Dave?
Yeah, I'd say probably movies that I watched back to back was like the Lord of the Rings, the old ones, the older ones, the animated ones, and then I watched all the live action ones all in one day, back to back to back, in between shifts and work shifts and after that.
I could not do that. I'd go nuts.
Yeah, and I have the extended versions of the live action newer ones too. So it took hours. I was up for like hours after that, still watching Return of the King at the end.
Brendan, what about you?
Well, to go off of what Dave was saying, me and my brother a couple Christmases ago watched all 3 of the extended Lord of the Rings back to back to back, which is about 11 and a half hours of Middle-earth action.
Yeah.
And we did it all in one day. So, you know, aside from that, it's probably the most upset in front of television watching a movie. But I've gone through and I've watched entire television seasons or series in one sitting sometimes. So I've probably spent more time sitting in front of the TV watching television shows on DVD than I have movies. Because like you said, movies, you kind of need a break. Television show, I can always keep watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Dave. This next one's from Benway20. I noticed you guys reviewed The Spy Who Loved Me. We did that for our What to Watch with Your Popcorn quite some time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Do you plan on reviewing any other James Bond films? Maybe in the future, Dave?
Yeah, if we get like a large like demand from our the people that watch our segments and stuff, if they really want us to, then yeah, definitely I'd be into it. Or if any more ever come out in theaters, like if they think up any new ones or they remake any more that are worth reviewing, then definitely.
Yeah. Okay, Brendan. Astro Rule 25. What is your favorite piece of movie memorabilia that you guys own?
I have a signed Reservoir Dogs DVD signed by Michael Madsen. I had met him at a comic book convention a few years ago. That's probably that's probably my favorite piece of movie memorabilia I own. Just because I got to meet him and he signed it and everything. He was a pretty cool guy.
That's sweet. That's awesome. Mine, I own a collection of movie read-alongs. Like back in the 80s, you could get, when a movie came out like Disney or Star Wars or Star Trek, they would create these book and record or book and tapes, read-along adaptations of the movies. I got a collection of those, and I got a Star Wars Super 8 version. It's like 9 minutes long. It's a condensed abridged version, but those are probably the only piece of memorabilia I have. Dave?
I don't really have anything anymore. I used to have like certain action figures from like certain movies, but I got rid of a lot of that as I grew older, so yeah. I don't really have much anymore.
Not too bad. Okay, K2Blue7 says 2010 movies. I was ticked off at the Oscars as usual. Anywho, I was wondering if you'd review the Banksy documentary Exit Through the Gift Shop. Also review Joaquin Phoenix and Casey Affleck's I'm Still Here. I was surprised it was spoken poorly of. It was performance art to me. All before Charlie Sheen stole the similar characterizations and the narcissistic behavior became hip. There are also a lot of cerebral moments to the movie despite the shit show. I've heard of both these movies. I wouldn't mind reviewing Exit Through the Gift Shop. Have either of you heard of any of these movies?
I've seen Exit Through the Gift Shop, and it is a very exceptional documentary that's worth checking out.
We should review that then.
I've never seen
Exit
it.
Through the Gift Shop is a documentary about...
it's about the street artist Banksy. His identity is sort of shadowed, and his sort of the mystery is no one knows who Banksy is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other one, the Joaquin Phoenix one, I'm Still Here. The K2Blue7 is comparing Walking Phoenix to Charlie Sheen. It's basically, I guess it's a documentary that they've been doing for a couple years, where they about changing the character, changing to him as an actor, because he said he was going to quit acting and become a rap star. I think it was like somewhat of a satire. I mean, I've heard of it, but unfortunately it was in limited release and I never got to see it.
It's a bit of a failed experiment on their part.
Oh, so you have seen it?
I've heard a lot about it, but I haven't watched it.
Oh,
Both of those sound like they'd be rather interesting. Yeah.
Okay, we got a lot of questions from U2UK. When will the three of you, including Brendan, be back to reviewing movies on this channel? I don't know. My answer to that is we've only done a couple movies together, the three of us, so I guess it depends on what the movie is and our schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a matter of all three of us seeing the same movie.
Yeah. But so far, we did a summer blockbuster video, and you said that the only one you seem to be interested in is Cowboys and Aliens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just in terms of movies that are coming out, new releases.
Yeah. So I guess our answer is it depends on the movie.
We'll see.
Yeah. What plans for future segments and movie contents do you have in mind for the rest of the year, if any? I personally haven't given that much thought. There's a bunch of movies I've been trying to get to review for DVD, but I mean, we haven't I don't know about you guys. I haven't sat down and thought about what we're going to do the rest of the year.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're kind of at a blank slate here.
I'm not real sure. I'm planning on doing just plenty more in theater reviews and more DVD reviews as they come. So
Yeah, I mean, I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to do something different every month. Like last month we did, well, this month we're doing Ask the Critic. Last month we did other things, you and me did.
yeah,
We did some special stuff, so yeah, I guess we could, and last November I tried to do gangster review months where I reviewed Goodfellas and Little Caesar.
right.
I wanted to review other gangster films, but I didn't have time,
Yeah.
so I guess we could try and do something special each month.
And we might bring popcorn back depending on how much time we have.
Yeah.
Because it seemed to be good.
Yeah, because last April we did April Fool's Comedy Month, so
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, and the last question from Lou to UK. What jobs do you all do right now without going into personal details? Obviously, just a vague description. And what would you like to be doing in the future? Well, me, right now I'm working in retail, but I would like to get a job in TV. Dave?
Right now I'm working for a elementary school as a crossing guard / hall monitor, but I'd like to probably eventually get into like radio or whatever, at least just find something full time that I can make a living at. So.
Brendan?
I am on the job hunt, so that's what happens when you're a college student.
Nonstop JC2K8 asks, what are your favorite movie soundtracks? Brendan?
Well, I do listen to a lot of movie soundtracks. I would just say specific composers. I would point out Ennio Morricone, Nick Cave, who did the Assassination of Jesse James and the Proposition soundtrack. Those are both amazing. Johnny Greenwood, who did There Will Be Blood. Let me think. You can think of any of the Wes Anderson soundtracks are just brilliant collections of just licensed music and original music. I think off the top of my head also, you can't deny John Williams either.
Yeah.
I like the soundtracks. Well, the soundtrack to Iron Man 2 was a favorite of mine because I really like AC/DC, and the whole thing was AC/DC, or the other one from the album Who Made Who by AC/DC, because they did that one Stephen King horror film, Maximum Overdrive.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also liked the soundtrack to the movie The Graduate with
Simon and Garfunkel.
Simon and Garfunkel.
I usually don't care much for movie soundtracks. As long as the music goes well with the picture, I'm fine. But if I had to name my favorite movie soundtrack, I would probably have to go with American Graffiti, George Lucas's second film. That film was about growing up in Southern California in 1962. They got all different kinds of music from the 50s into the early 60s, and they really go with the picture well. And it kind of, even though I wasn't alive at the time, it kind of creates a feeling of reminiscing. I think they really tie it in with the picture very well, so I'd probably have to go with that. I mean, but other than that, I don't buy soundtracks. Well, that's all the time we have for now for our first Ask the Critics video, so we thank you very much for the questions, and we're still going to be doing these videos until the end of May. So go ahead and continue to leave questions, and hopefully we answered everyone's questions that we did today very well, and we got a couple more to go, so you'll be seeing some more for the rest of the month.